In a world of endless fandoms, one podcast dares to cover them all. Welcome to Between Two Batcaves, your go-to HQ for everything from comics to the screen and all the IP in between.
Join your hosts, Austin and Jordan, for weekly coverage of the comics, shows, and blockbuster hits that keep us coming back for more. So thanks for hanging with us and being part of the next entry into the Batcave saga.
All right, hello, and thanks for hanging with us today on this episode of Between Two Batcaves. We are your hosts. I am Austin Luke, and he is Jordan Brownstein. And today we are talking about Daredevil, Born Again, Season 2, Episode 8, the finale. We are going to be getting into the weeds.
The end of the road,
guys. It's come to an end. We got thoughts. It's come to an end finally. I say that as if I wanted it to end. I didn't want it to end, but the conclusion of this season is here. We got some thoughts about it, but we also have some other things going on today. Going to be a little mix up an episode here. I'm going to let Jordan get into some details about that here in a second. But before we do that, if you like what we're doing over here on Between Two Batcaves, please let us know. A few ways you can do so. Whether this is your first or 53rd episode with us, pause.
Jameel McLean, shout out.
Let us know how we're doing.
Gotta dig deep for that.
Few ways you can do that. First of all, follow the pod on the podcast platform of your choice. Next, you can leave a 5-star rating and a review on that podcast platform of your choice. And lastly, you can share the pod with a friend. If you are watching Between Two Batcaves on either YouTube or Spotify,
You probably see me getting a little distracted over here.
I think Jordan's got a dog digging in a couch right now.
Accurate.
Yeah, okay. See, that's how excited you should be, viewers at home, for this pod right now. You should be like, wait, let me guess. It's Lola.
No, that was actually Bo.
Dang, that was my first guess, but I second guessed myself.
I think, yeah, gotta trust your gut there.
Anyway, if you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, thank you so much. We've been kicking it back up with the video stuff here recently, and been getting some more clips out and all that type of stuff. So loving the engagement that we're seeing again. That's been a lot of fun. Follow us on all of the socials. We are on Twitter at B2Batcaves with the number 2. We are on everything else. Insta, Facebook, TikTok, all that at
Amazon Music,
Blue Sky, at Between Two Batcaves with the number 2. So that's how you can get in touch with us. That's how you can stay up and follow to get all the latest from Jordan and I. Jordan, please tell everybody what to expect from us today.
Quite simply put, we're talking Daredevil today. All things Daredevil Born Again season finale. We're breaking it down. Before we can get into it, Austin, you are going to take us through the Oracle report. We got some fun trailers to break down today. New one for the Odyssey coming this summer. Super excited. Austin, I'm gonna spin this over to you as far as what we got coming next week, because Daredevil's over. There are a couple. Well, actually, I guess there's one kind of big show that has a couple more episodes to go with The Boys. Episode 6, I think it was, just aired this week. So, are we covering The Boys next week?
I don't know for sure if we're covering The Boys next week. I know one thing for sure that we're covering next week. We're going to be covering the Punisher special.
Yeah. There we go.
That's for sure on the list. Also, potentially, I don't know how far you are into this show. What's your status update on Maul Shadowlord?
Ooh, I'm on like episode 8, so you want to talk Maul? We can talk Maul.
Dude, we might be talking Maul next week. I'm 3, maybe 4 episodes in right now. Dude, really enjoying this show right now. I
Yeah.
remember
I got stuff to say about Maul.
Oh, dude, I got a lot to say, and I'm not even done yet. Um, I remember I asked you which of the three I should start first, Maul, The Boys, or Invincible, and you said go with either The Boys or Invincible, but you also gave that caveat of but also Maul is more consumable.
Yes.
And that's kind of ultimately why I chose Maul. It's super easy at the end of the night for me to put on that 20 something minute episode and breeze through that instead of sitting down for an hour when I know I'm gonna fall asleep.
Yeah.
So I've been having a lot of fun with them all. So might be doing some mall talk.
So what I'm kind of hearing is, so next week we're going to obviously be covering Punisher, One Last Kill. We're going to talk some Maul, and then maybe the following week with the Boys series finale come in with some form of season coverage, finale coverage.
I think that
maybe
might be what we're doing.
that could work, and if that doesn't work, then I'll hit the socials up with my thoughts.
Yeah, no, I think that's manageable. I think that's manageable.
All right, that's a schedule.
So that's next week. But as you mentioned today, we got a few things we got to go over. Let's start off. Oh, I don't think you mentioned it. We're also going to be talking a little bit about Gary today. Did you say that?
I did not mention that. We are going to be talking about Gary, not the snail from SpongeBob. We're
However,
going to be talking about Gary,
should we?
Indiana. We could always talk about Gary the snail, but not today because we're talking about Gary, Indiana, which is the surprise episode of The Bear that just dropped this week out of nowhere. It's basically a prequel episode about Richie and Mikey before the events of season 1 unfold.
Mhm.
And we watched it. So we're going to talk about that. Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to get into that too. I think that just about covers it. Do you want to fire up the Oracle report and talk about what happened in the nerd news this week?
You're my guy in the chair today, so take it away.
Okay. So a couple things I wanted to do here. Let's see. So I'll let you honestly, I think really only two stories came to mind here, and I think you might be talking about one of them because you sent me the post about it. So I'm gonna start off here with, granted, this is a rumor, and we usually don't like try to get too far into rumors, but I think this one is worth a little bit of conversation here. So recently there is a casting rumor in the DCU regarding Wonder Woman. So there previously we have discovered that Adria Arjona has been casted in the DCU. And she's a major fan cast for Wonder Woman, and however, we have been getting a lot of reports that she has not been cast as Wonder Woman. Instead, she's been cast as Maxima. Maxima is just like a queen of Almerac, I think. An
A
alien
tertiary
planet.
character at best.
Yeah, and she's like obsessed with Superman because she wants to find basically like the perfect specimen to be her mate. So it's an interesting aspect, I guess, to bring into the Superman Man of Tomorrow movie. A lot of people are speculating maybe that's just like a misleading like name cast to the character. James Gunn likes to be cheeky with that type of stuff, so that may or may not be true. However, here there's been a lot of rumors circulating around that Eva de Dominici has been cast in the DCU as Wonder Woman. Have you seen this?
I have not seen that specifically. I've seen all the Adria Arjona stuff.
This is, let's see here. Hold on one second. Great podcasting.
While you look it up, so that name Eva de Dominici, is that right?
Yeah. So she's
I think
an
I had seen. Yeah, I'd
she's
seen
an
some kind of
Argentine
rumor
actress.
that she was just being considered for some kind of role in Man of Tomorrow, but not that she had been cast as Wonder Woman.
So I mean, I guess I'm not saying that she's been cast again. This is just kind of like the rumor mill of she's been like attached to the project now, and people are taking this and running with that she could either be a potential, this is in according to Forbes, surface as a potential rogue, and maybe even Wonder Woman. So I don't really know anything about this actress. I looked up her filmography, and it's mostly uh, foreign films. However, she's got the look. She's got that like exotic, strong, femininity to her. And I don't know. I just wanted to put this out here, just because. Do you think that I mean, do you think that by any way, shape, or form, this gives more or less credence to the idea that maybe James Gunn is trying to mislead us with the Adriana Arjona casting?
Yeah, I was gonna say if Adriana Arjona is cast in the DCU and she's not playing Wonder Woman, I just don't get it. So, no disrespect to Eva Dominici, but I mean, if you're gonna cast Adriana Arjona, who's like one of the rising stars and like probably the biggest fan cast for Wonder Woman for good reason,
Most certainly.
that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. So, especially with, I mean, by all means, I would say it's not like Adriana Arjona is an unknown, but she's most certainly a lesser known actress.
She's a rising star, like TV.
A rising star. Yep.
Hitman on Netflix with Glenn Powell was really good, but like not theatrical necessarily. So, but
And
I
think that
she
does
has that
fit the bill too, with how we got Gordon Sweat in as Superman, also being a relatively unknown actor.
Yeah.
But I mean, also what I do like just here, with all of this speculation is, again, this Ava De Dominici actress. I mean, also an unknown, so if either of these are the Wonder Woman cast, maybe neither of them are, I don't know, but it does seem like James Gunn is kind of rolling with that, placing younger rising stars in these roles that are going to be the pillars of the DCU, and that theme I like.
I agree.
Just a little DC rumor mill stuff here. Dude, it's just crazy that we're getting another DCU movie in a couple months.
Yeah, there just doesn't seem to be that much buzz around it yet, and it's like I think all the promotional material is kind of out there at this point.
Dude, and you know what's even crazier? Sidetracked here. We're going to be going to see a Star Wars movie by the end of this month.
In like 2 weeks, yeah.
Like, what the heck? Dude, we gotta look at tickets.
I don't know. I don't know about Mando and Grogu.
Yeah. We had a good conversation about this in class the other day, as we were watching Revenge of the Sith, and some general impressions from casual fans are not interested, which I think is interesting.
We will obviously go to see it. I'll reserve judgment until I see the movie.
All right. That's that story for me.
We're going back to the Planet of the Apes. It has just been announced that Matt Shakman is going to be directing a new installment into the Planet of the Apes movies series. The script is being written by both he and Josh Friedman, who was also on the script for the most recent Planet of the Apes movie, Kingdom. Apparently, this is not going to be a direct sequel to Kingdom, but there are some inklings that maybe it is going to be connected in some way. So I'll spin it over to you. First thoughts on getting another Planet of the Apes movie?
Sure. First of all, excited. I love the Planet of the Apes trilogy. I think actually the original movies. I'm a huge fan of those too. But the Max Shackman trilogy, love those movies. I
Matt
was
Reeves.
also thank you. I was also a big fan of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. No, not a big fan, I should say, but I was a fan of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I think it most certainly had its pitfalls. But you do shoot,
I had
I'm a
a great time
sucker
with that movie.
for some. You get some hyper intelligent apes. You throw some tribalism in there. You get some mutated humans. I mean, dude, call me a schmuck. I don't know. I love that.
Dude, I
stuff.
love it. I
it.
love these movies. Yeah, I love these movies. I'm super excited for it.
So I
Question
do
for
think
you
it's
though.
interesting. Oh,
Yeah, go ahead, because I think you probably are on the same trail that I am.
So I think it's interesting that they mention, that it's not going to be a continuation of Kingdom of the
Mhm.
Planet of the Apes, because I don't know exactly how to take that. Obviously, it's going to be a continuation of some sort because it's going to be set. I would think further in the future than that movie. So the events of that movie, it's not like they won't exist. The evolution from there will exist. But are they meaning that like we're not going to have any connection to the Eagle clan?
Mm.
Is there going to be like no connection whatsoever to like Noah, or like maybe any of his like uh uh I guess, is there not going to be like any common lineage between the characters in the new movie and Noah? Uh, how far are they trying to separate themselves from that movie? I think is really where my head's at.
I think the relationship between the Caesar trilogy and Kingdom is probably a pretty good touchstone in that, like, Kingdom is, like, in some sense, it is a continuation from the Caesar trilogy, but like 300 years in the future of that timeline. So
Right.
my hope is that they keep it within this kind of same timeline, the same universe that the Caesar trilogy originated, but maybe take it another 300 years down the line and see where we are.
So I'm curious if we're almost like working our way towards a complete like original trilogy remake at this point, and because
Like, take it back
how
to the origin story of the
like the origin
do the
story.
outbreak again.
Yeah. Oh, no. Like the original Planet of the Apes movies. Like, are we getting
Okay.
to the point
Yeah,
where
yeah,
like
yeah.
we're gonna start recreating like those movies? Just because how much further can you set it in the future before you start to get into that like timeline of okay, well, we have at this point like completely like humanized basically apes with humans being non-existent or being they flip the roles.
Yeah.
Are we going to get into like the idea of mutated humans that like live underground in nuclear bunkers? Like how weird are we going
Mole
to
men?
get with this thing?
You want mole men.
I want the mole man. I want the mole man.
Well,
hey,
dude, that's a great
Matt
transition
Jackman.
because I was going to ask you, do you think that this has any kind of impact on the prospects of a Fantastic Four sequel coming anytime soon?
That is interesting.
I guess the question really there is, do you think that Matt Shackman is like indispensable to the Fantastic Four movie brand at this point? Or can they tap somebody else?
That's a good question. I mean, here's the thing. He most certainly nailed what he was going for with Fantastic Four. That retro futuristic 60s style. What we got in that movie, I think worked perfectly, and it really highlighted what Matt Shackman can do. However, if the next iteration of the Fantastic Four is set in more of our current MCU timeline, I don't necessarily know if Matt Shackman has to be attached to the project.
Yeah.
Would I like it? Most certainly, yes. I mean, Matt Shackman has proved that he can operate really anywhere in the MCU. But do I think the Fantastic Four could work under a different creative lead? With it not being this like super cool kind of standalone period piece. Yeah, I do think that could happen. So, to answer your question, maybe it would interfere with him being involved with the Fantastic Four, while not necessarily hindering us getting another Fantastic Four project as soon as we want it.
I think that's probably right. I don't know, dude. I love these movies. I love these 8 movies. I went through a phase 2 years ago, maybe, where I rewatched the Reeves trilogy, and
they're so good.
I started driving Maddie crazy with how much I was just kind of like hulking around the house like a gorilla.
Oh
just
my
chanting,
gosh, dude!
Together strong.
Oh my gosh! And when Kingdom came out, dude, I was just all the time. I was just like, "What a glorious day!"
Dude, that Kingdom was really good. That's why I rewatched
really
all the Reeves ones, because I saw Kingdom and I was like reignited my love for it.
Yeah, man. With oh shoot, who played I can't, his name's slipping me right now. Who played
Kevin?
Yep.
You're talking about Proximus Caesar. Kevin something. I know his first name's Kevin.
He's the guy who played Blob in the X-Men movies from the early 2000s.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good heel.
Yeah,
he was funny
really
in Naked Gun.
Oh, he was hilarious in Naked Gun. Anyway, yeah, I'm curious to see. You know, it'll be cool. I think we'll probably get another significant time jump, which in these movies I like, because I like to watch like the evolution of the ape society and like the de-evolution of the human society. So I just have so much fun with these.
All right, dude, we got a trailer to break down, and we got an episode of TV to break down before we get to the episode of TV that we're going to break down.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go next? You want to take a trip to Gary, Indiana?
You want to talk Odyssey real quick?
You want to go Odyssey and then to Gary? Let's do it. All right. Take me back to the ages of Greek myth. Why don't you?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to spend a ton of time here. We just got, I think it was 3 days ago, maybe 2 days ago. We got a new trailer for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey movie coming out this year. Again, crazy the year that we have ahead of us. But new trailer featuring more of Matt Damon, Tom Holland. We got some Robert Pattinson in this trailer.
Yeah,
we got some giants, some Cyclops in this trailer. Dude, just like overall, just like super cool. I think that what really stood out to me in this trailer was the Robert Pattinson character.
100%.
I think that he was really like a center point of this trailer. And then just like showing us that this is going to get kind of weird with like the mythical side of things. You know, like I said, we see the Cyclops and we see some armored giants, and we get this like epic speech going throughout the movie the whole time, or the trailer the whole time. Basically, like this back and forth, kind of like about between Tom Holland and his, wanting his father. Which, okay, I hate to be nitpicky, but it bothers me that he calls him dad. It bothers me that he calls him dad.
That's actually an interesting point that leads me to one of my takeaways from the trailer, aside from the Robert Pattinson at all, because I do love the focus here on how we get Robert Pattinson's character gunning for Anne Hathaway's character, and just kind of in that like toxic measuring contest with Tom Holland, like you're crying for a daddy who's not coming home, that kind of stuff. That's like the bread and butter of a Robert Pattinson character, is just like that kind of conniving, sniveling weirdo. But aside from that, your point about the use of the word dad is just like, it's not only that, there's like they're not dealing with any kind of pretense that this is going to be historically accurate, which
That's true.
I'm fine with.
Yeah.
But because it's like, I mean, this wasn't an active choice by Christopher Nolan, but Anne Hathaway and her Botox is quite prevalent in this trailer.
Yeah.
And then like, yeah, I mean, we're dealing with trolls and monsters and all that good stuff too. So there is no like obligation to commit to like realism here or like being faithful to the text 100%, and I'm fine with that. But it is just something that stood out here.
That's most certainly true. It's just, you said something like that Greek, Roman, like ancient, that time frame. I just expect father. I don't expect dad. So that stood out to me. I'll end it here with a question for you. Just like this trailer, did it do anything for you in terms of hype? Did it strengthen anything? Did it weaken anything? Did it keep it exactly the same? Did this move a needle at all?
Oh, it's a good question, because I was going to say, like, I didn't need to see this trailer, right? Like,
I agree.
I'm probably still at the same point that I was before it, but that's just because, like, my hype is kind of just, like, max out for this movie.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's not like I don't wish we got it, but I'm gonna forget this trailer. I almost wish that we had just gotten what we got, that little teaser trailer, and then the opening sequence that we saw in IMAX before we saw. Was that before Fantastic Four? No,
I think it was.
Yeah, no, it was. And then just like ended it there. I think that
Mhm.
I think that would have kind of like kept the hype train higher. I don't think this decreased it at all for me, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm gonna be there first weekend.
Yeah, I mean,
So
they were always going to have to put out a second trailer, so I'm glad that it doesn't reveal too much here, and I do like the insight into what is going to be going on with the Robert Pattinson character and everything going on the home front a little bit more.
yeah,
You want to bring it back to the home front, come back to Gary, Indiana?
I do. I want to bring it back to Gary, Indiana, and I want to start. I want you to start off this conversation because, dude, this show is so up your alley. This special is just like, I know this is your thing. So tell me what's happening.
All right. So I think it's like Monday, just out of nowhere, I see on Twitter that there's a new episode of The Bear that's released and is live on Hulu, and it's like a prequel episode written by John Bernthal and Evan Moss Bachrach, following Mikey and Richie, basically running an errand for Uncle Jimmy before the events of season 1. And I learned after the fact that this was actually this was filmed and kind of grouped together with season 4, and for whatever reason they held it and just released it now. But I mean, my major takeaway is like, what a surprise treat that we got this, and holy cow, what a tough watch.
So yeah, you're right. Super fun that we got this randomly. It was cool to have this like little check-in with something going on in the Bear, even though it was a prequel. But I mean, dude, you put Evan Moss Bachrach and John Bernthal on the screen together, you get a little Richie Mikey action. I mean, it's gonna be golden. But that being said, dude, this special, you nailed it. It's what a tough watch, because this special did what the best episodes of The Bear are able to do so well, and that's make you feel like you don't want to be there. I mean, dude,
That's a
think
really
about
good
like
way to put it.
like Seven Fishes, for example. Like you don't want, you like almost want to turn that off because you're like,
Yeah.
oh, this episode is. This is stressing me out, and we don't have to summarize the entire episode, but I mean, we get the scene in the bar where I mean, you get this terribly like sad story, basically about. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Richie, I love Mikey, but what we're seeing here is basically two losers, like going out.
Dragging each other down. Dragging each other down
that's
with
a good
each
play.
other.
Yes, and they go to this bar, and Mikey connects with this woman, Sherry, and he's there with his best friend, and yet he's on the bathroom floor opening up to this complete stranger in a way that he clearly can't do with those around him. And meanwhile, his best friend is out in the bar, having a great time. But also, I mean, stressing because he needs to get home. He has a kid on the way, and
except he's really not stressing. Though is the thing. He's
no,
like
you're
looking
right.
for every excuse he can not to go home and be there for his wife as she's having his daughter.
You're totally right. I mean, the immaturity is just like exuding from him, and then you get this big blow up scene, and Mikey just completely unleashes on Richie because Richie has found a happiness that Mikey clearly doesn't think that he can have, and he resents Richie for that in a way. And you have that scene where you're just like, oh, I don't want to be here anymore. Like this is hard to watch, and I think I think that's what the bear does really, really well.
And what I think this episode specifically does so well is like, not only do we get that feeling of like, get me out of this room, that is preceded by like an hour of just these two guys who, like, despite all their flaws, are like at this point in their character development, like great hangs at their best. And like, obviously we've seen with the character with Richie, like somebody with the capacity for empathy and for good and for change for the better. And we get those moments of just them hanging out in the car, like doing bits with each other, just like shooting the breeze. You get the scene of them playing basketball, like pickup basketball with a bunch of kids at the park, which that scene was also stressful because Mikey was being way overly aggressive with these high school kids. And like watching that scene, you're just kind of waiting for Mikey to snap and do something.
Right.
And take it too far. And that's what is so compelling about Mikey as a character is like, it is just that flip of the switch, because the scene at the bar, his attack on Richie is like completely unprovoked. Like they're on their way out. Mikey has just like what I'd like basically been visited by an angel, this woman, Sherry, who is just like, can see that he is hurting so deeply. And they share like such a tender connection. And like, he bears his soul to her about his mom and about his struggles at home. And he walks out of that conversation, and the next thing he does is like attack his best friend for no reason. And, that's just coming from like such a place of like such hurt inside, and like that's directed at himself. And like, again, like that just comes seemingly for no reason. And he acknowledges that like he has these mood swings. And so it's just like, again, like he is such a tragic character. Richie and Mikey's friendship is just like such a tragic relationship that is like you're seeing them in this episode both at their best and at their worst. And that is just like the encapsulation of who they are like as characters, especially at this point before everything that happens over the course of the show.
Yeah. It really sucks that we can't really get more of these two characters together in The Bear because, dude, I mean, you get these two actors on screen and holy cow, is it electric. I mean, they're
on Broadway right now.
Yeah, they're on Broadway. And, well, shoot, dude, there's potential, too, that we could get these two interacting in the MCU. So,
sure, the thing.
Like, dude. Yeah, these two together they're something. They are something special. I question for you about the ending of this.
Dude, I was just, yeah. We might be burying the lead here because what happened with that ending?
So, yeah, right. So obviously, like he's stuck behind the train, and then we get that point where, it flashes forward and Richie's sitting in his car by himself and gets hit by a car.
And I didn't realize it when I was watching it live. That's like a flash forward to the present of the show, right?
Yes. Yeah. So that's how I took it. I would assume, because it was clearly a flash forward, in my opinion. I assume that would be to present where the bear stands. I don't know why it has to otherwise. Be. Yeah. So what's happening here?
Obviously, whether he survived, like it was a violent car crash. He got T-boned at like significant speed. So he might be dead. Like, it's very possible that he does not survive this car accident, and the final season of The Bear is dealing with the fallout of Richie's death, which I think would be a weird choice.
Dude.
A weird decision to do that in a standalone surprise drop episode, like a year before the final season, and then just making it, like, that would hang so heavy over everything that happens.
Dude, I'll be honest. I don't know if I want the Bear without Richie in it.
He's my favorite character on the show.
Like, that would be a tough sell for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know what will come from that. I don't even know when we're supposed to be getting the next season of The Bear. But, I mean, I don't want that to, like, take away from how, like, just intense of a story this was. Super cool.
Yeah, no, it was a fantastic episode of TV.
Yeah, just like a fun little short film. It was super cool.
You want to get into the review of the episode of TV that we're here for today?
I do want to talk Daredevil, Born Again, Season 2, Episode 8. What's the title?
The Southern Cross.
The Southern Cross. Yes.
All right. So, before we get into it here, just got to issue a spoiler warning. We're talking Daredevil, everything that happened in this finale, everything that happened in this season of TV, and we're going to get into just everything Daredevil probably. Talk the comics, talk about previous seasons. It's all on the table. So if you haven't seen the finale of this season of TV, go watch it and come back. All right, Austin. Another situation, I think, where I had a chance to rewatch this episode and you're coming in pretty fresh, huh?
Yes, watched it last night.
All right. Well, let me refresh you here on what went down in this episode of TV. Let me hit you with the Batcave recap. All right. As we mentioned, this is Daredevil Born Again, episode 208, The Southern Cross, directed by Ian McDonald. This season finale plays out over the course of 2 battles between Daredevil and Kingpin, the first fought in the courtroom and the latter fought with fists. The episode opens with what seems like a dream sequence of Matt and Karen sharing a meal at the Indian restaurant where they had their first date, before day 2 of the trial of Karen Page begins. Matt is late for court, but he has a good excuse because he's still bleeding out following the AVTF's failed courthouse parking garage hit job. But luckily, Jessica is there to patch him up. Day 2 of the trial begins with Dr. Heather Glenn besmirching Karen's name and perjuring herself on behalf of the Fisk administration before Matt limps into the courtroom and, let's just say, successfully impeaches Dr. Glenn's competency and veracity as an expert witness. To everybody's surprise, Mr. Murdoch then calls Wilson Fisk to the stand as the defense's next witness. We are then treated to Daredevil and Fisk's first face-off in open court, and boy, does it deliver. Matt successfully backs Fisk into a corner on direct examination, getting him to all but admit that Matthew Murdoch is a hero, before revealing to the court and the entire world that Matthew Murdoch and Daredevil are one and the same. After the shock of this revelation subsides, Matt successfully moves to dismiss the charges against Karen and essentially dismantles any semblance of legality and legitimacy that the Fisk administration ever had in the process. On Fisk's way out of the courtroom, Governor McCaffrey let us know that his time as mayor is also effectively over. Unsurprisingly, though, Fisk cannot accept defeat graciously. After his attempt to frame Bullseye for Matt's assassination gets buckshot and fails miserably in the process, Fisk barricades himself inside the courthouse and declares a state of emergency across New York City. After BB broadcasts one final City Without Fear video, the people of New York take to the streets against Fisk, donning Daredevil masks and marching toward the very symbol of justice that Mayor Kingpin has made a mockery of. Cole North finally does something, relieving Officer Powell of his duties and letting protesters into the courthouse. Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Angela Del Toro, a.k.a. White Tiger, dispatch the remaining AVTF thugs with ease and style before meeting with their followers and facing Fisk in the courthouse veranda, who has just refused a very reasonable offer of exile from the state attorney general before going full kingpin and brutally mauling dozens of protesters, tossing them around like rag dolls and snapping them like twigs. The protesters charge at Fisk and almost overwhelm him before Daredevil and Jessica Jones step in to save him. Fisk finally relents, agreeing to break the cycle and leave New York in exile. All is well, and we join Matt and Karen back at their favorite Indian restaurant as they discuss what a normal life could potentially look like without Fisk around. Unfortunately, those thoughts are short-lived as Matt is placed under arrest for his alleged crimes as Daredevil. As the season closes, we spend a moment with each of our characters. Matt is in jail while Fisk stands alone on a remote beach. Dr. Glenn is donning the mask and fully embracing her persona as Lady Muse, with a wounded and Daniel Blake-less Buck by her side. BB is now at her uncle's old desk at the Bulletin, and Dex is on a plane with Mr. Charles, headed off to presumably do something shady for the United States government. And last but not least, Jessica Jones is back working at Alias Investigations, along with her husband, Luke Cage, who has returned from doing wet work for Mr. Charles abroad. The couple agrees and prepares to play a larger role in the city with Daredevil at least temporarily off the board. That has been your Batcave recap for the Season 2 finale of Daredevil Born Again. Austin, I'm turning it over to you, dude. Where do you want to go first? What do you want to talk about with this episode?
I'm gonna start this off with a question, dude. I got one question for you. Who do you think hates sand more, Wilson Fisk or Anakin Skywalker?
It's sand. It's coarse. It gets everywhere.
I mean,
he's not having a good time out there.
He's not having a good time out there. Dude, I don't know. I think Fisk might hate sand a little bit more. We can perhaps debate that another time. However, where do I want to start with this, dude? So great episode of TV. I think a great finale to this season. I do have, ups and downs for this episode and for this season as a whole. However, I love that we got some more time in the courtroom, and the time in the courtroom that we did get, I think, was pretty epic.
Some of the best we've gotten.
Oh,
definitely across Born Again, across the entire Daredevil series, I would say.
Oh, yes. We got some great moments. Like you said, we got this like cool duality of Matt versus Wilson, and then Daredevil versus Kingpin, and we got some great moments of Wilson Fisk, Kingpin, really like unleashing, who is showing his true colors, and dude, yeah. Boo. We got to have a power scaling conversation again. However, but yeah, I mean, I got individual notes about kind of like each character to cover, but overall thoughts, man, I'm really happy with how this season landed. Could it have been a little bit better for me? Sure. But do I still think that this might be pretty up there in terms of like best season of Daredevil television that we've ever gotten?
Save that thought.
I think it's in the conversation.
We're ranking seasons at the end of this episode. Save that thought.
I don't know if it is for sure. This conversation might sway me, but it's in the conversation.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And what I love about this episode so much is that it just like recenters the show around the two characters that really are the only two characters that have ever mattered in this iteration of the show. These 2 seasons of TV have been about Matthew Murdock and Wilson Fisk. Like it's like a 1-2 punch over the course of these 2 seasons. And there are some really great supporting characters in this cast that have, especially this season, been a huge boon to the show. But they're all there in service of Daredevil and Kingpin. And to finally bring that back into focus here after they had their brief face-off in episode 6, now they're face-to-face in the courtroom for the first time ever. And we're dealing with a Matthew Murdock, a version of this character that like neither we nor Wilson Fisk has ever seen, because Matt is willing to do the one thing that Fisk has been holding over his head for years now, something that he never thought he would do, reveal his identity. But Matt has been on this journey over the course of these 2 seasons of TV, like we talked about last week. As of last week, he was full circle on that journey. This is a fully self-assured Matt/Daredevil, and he's ready to kind of merge these 2 versions of himself together into something really beautiful, because we just get the best version of both Matt and Daredevil here. And the kind of like the self-assuredness that he has now at this point, as opposed to last season and earlier this season, when he's dealing with so much inner turmoil, trying to figure out who he is after losing Foggy, to finally come out on the other side of that and get to a point where he knows that revealing his identity is going to get him put in jail. And he's at peace with that. And he's able to wield that as a weapon against Fisk in a way that Fisk never anticipated he would. And it's such a satisfying, not necessarily conclusion, but a closing of this chapter on the Daredevil Fisk saga, really.
Yeah. I want to get into a little bit more detail here. So, we start back off, as you said, with picking up with the trial. And you mentioned, Matt, he comes in and he comes in late because he's getting patched up from the courthouse parking garage drive-by attempt from the day prior. So
yeah.
I mean, here's my question, dude. So what? Are we not going to talk about this? Like, what's happening, man? Like, are we unaware that there was a drive-by shooting in the basement of the courthouse when court was released the day before? What? Am I crazy?
I'm willing with that. I'm at this point willing to just kind of headcanon it in a way that's like, okay, the Fisk administration is at a point that it's gone further than it ever has and further than it ever will again, and he's out of power the next day. So I'm okay to an extent with it not being addressed in the episode, like explicitly, but yeah, it's noticed.
It's a little weird. So okay, we'll chalk that one up to just widespread corruption. I can live with that. So
not a hard sell in today's day and age.
No, really not. So yeah, man. I mean, the courtroom scene that we get here, as you mentioned, is some of the best Daredevil.
Dude, let's get into it, because there's so much to dive into with the courtroom stuff.
Dude, like the charisma that Matt had in that courtroom as he was challenging Fisk, as he was challenging Heather, as he was just like the way he was talking, the way he was moving, and it's just like, like, and I had a good, I think you probably did as well last episode. Like, we knew that this is where it was going. We knew that this was leading to him revealing that he was Daredevil. And so like, Matt knew that, like, he had the card, like he had the ace up his sleeve. He knew how to win this thing, and going into like these witnesses, questioning these witnesses with that knowledge, like the way that he carried himself was just like, it was so smooth and just like freaking awesome to watch.
Dude, and that's just like all Charlie Cox. Just nailing the performance. And I love how, I mean, Matt hasn't been practicing law for months now. He's been in hiding out of the public eye, and just immediately back in his bag in the courtroom.
Oh, dude. He's so good at it.
I mean, so he enters the courtroom with some charisma, like you said. Like, he has quite the entrance, and Dr. Glenn is on the stand at that point, just absolutely slandering Karen Page's name. And as soon as Matt walks into the room, completely throws Heather off. And like, he like immediately is objecting to a line of questioning from the DA and basically throwing his briefcase on the table, basically. And then, the move to call Fisk in. And then, I mean, what I love about the Fisk, once Fisk is in the courtroom, is that like, they're basically having two conversations at the same time. Like Matt and Fisk are having a conversation between the two of them while while Matt is also examining him under oath, basically. And like you get those moments where Fisk whispers under his breath because he knows Matt can hear him. He's like, "You're not going to do this," and Matt's like, "Watch me," basically. And I mean, I'm hard pressed to think of another Daredevil courtroom scene that like lived both matches like the story beat that this does, which is just not fair because it's like he has his Iron Man moment here, he has his I am Daredevil moment here. But even just like the entertainment value of the courtroom stuff here was so good.
So I'm actually, dude, I'm super glad you brought that up because I wanted to talk about like the reveal itself. And I don't get me wrong, I thought it was cool. I loved that this was like the strategy that he knew was gonna work, and I like, just like the way that he was like feeding Fisk. He was like, so like I'm a hero, right? Like Matt Murdock, am a hero,
Yep.
and like
Flipped
the way he was
Fisk's
leading
game on
Fisk
him from earlier in the season.
Dude, it was so cool. It was so good, and you're like, oh, it's about to happen, and then he finally, well, I am Daredevil,
Has to prove it.
Controversial.
What, the I am Daredevil line?
Didn't hit quite as hard for me as I wanted it to.
Dude, it worked for me.
Now, I am going to say that I think the sole reason why it didn't is because yesterday I also watched Iron Man. So, few hours prior, I got I Am Iron Man.
That's
and
tough.
Then followed up by I Am Daredevil, which obviously when you're getting any type of reveal now, it's going to be compared to the I Am Iron Man moment. And after literally just watching it, I was like, didn't quite live up to that moment. And I hate to compare the two. I do. But dude, I mean, I saw it like I saw it 3 hours earlier. It's just, what am I supposed to do?
You're the victim of the consequences of your own actions.
Yes. And so ultimately I was like, yeah, Tony Stark did it better. However, the entire lead up to it was just like so freaking cool, so just genius, and then like, it was strategy in the courtroom.
It was the I am Daredevil, and then having to prove it to everybody who doesn't believe that a blind
with the
lawyer can
baton,
be Daredevil.
Yeah,
with the doing a little flair with the Billy Club.
Oh yeah, dude, that was cool.
Yeah, he has the sauce. Okay, so we can go in a number of ways here. Is there anything else that you want to talk? Oh, as I'm saying it, there is something else I wanted to mention on the other side of the coin with the courtroom stuff. And that is just kind of like the Kirsten McDuffie character here. I feel like they did not do her, they kind of did her a disservice here. She was deserving of at least one conversation with Matt, I think, who we talked about this earlier in the season, a character who has been basically just completely tossed to the wayside by Matt, who like leaving her to keep their firm afloat, just completely disappearing off the face of the earth. He shows back up in the courtroom. Presumably that's the first time that she's seen him in months. And like there has to have been some kind of conversation between the two of them. And I think that's something that we should have seen.
No, I agree 100%. I think that the character was definitely, worthy of a conversation. I think as viewers, as the audience, I think we were warranted a conversation between those two characters. But also like just on that same vein, there is just also, I mean, her entire like role in the courtroom, I think, was just kind of like subsided by Matt appearing as well. I mean, she gave a statement and then nothing after that. It became Matt's show, and Matt's show was great to watch, but it came at the cost of the Kirsten character not getting anything to do, really, this entire season now.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right.
So, you know, court the way that this came to the conclusion, like watching like the judges slowly side with Matt Murdock, it's great. You have this big this triumphant feeling, and you're like, oh, let's go. Like one for the team. We got Matt, Karen, and then obviously you get the bullseye shot that doesn't take out Buck Cashman, but wounds him. The courthouse gets shut down.
Let's hold on. Let's talk about the assassination attempt real quick, because so Fisk set up this plan where he had one of his goons dressed up as Bullseye, and he had him set up to assassinate Matt Murdock on the steps of the courthouse, basically, but before he knew that Matt was going to reveal his identity.
Yeah.
Interesting strategy.
Yeah.
Gets foiled, obviously, by Bullseye himself showing up and calling out his imposter, which was great. But yeah, just seems a little bit risky of a plan for Fisk there. Because was that Bullseye lookalike not setting up in a room full of AVTF agents?
He was, and I don't understand why.
I think it was just Fisk, like, he's completely unraveled at that point. He's like, I need Matt Murdock dead.
Yeah, I think ultimately, like, those agents were just like, I mean, like, they're just so like within Fisk's pockets that it doesn't matter. I mean, they were just protection detail. But hey, dude, you can't protect yourself from Bullseye. I mean, so this is where like the kind of the split in the episode happens, like you said. Like then we get the Daredevil side of this episode, Daredevil versus Kingpin, and dude, so this was cool. We get like to the boiling point where you see the city is done, because Fisk comes on with his like final cry out to the city.
What a creepy video too.
Yeah, well, I like how it really mirrored like the way that BB had been making her videos. And like just like the way that like it at first, like I thought it was one of those, but
it seemed like it was intentional. It was sitting so certainly. Arch, like hands folded. He was wearing all white. Everything was black around him. He was sitting in like the chief judge's chair.
Yes. Yeah, dude. It was it was definitely like very like eerie. And so he's making this crowded city, one last stand, because as we've been talking about, everything around him has crumbled at this point. I mean, he has nothing. He has no more cards to play. Matt Murdock has revealed himself as Daredevil. Kingpin has lost his seat of power. All of his assets have been frozen. The governor has told him that the attorney general is coming at him with a list of charges. Basically he's being presented with this: you can either leave New York and never come back, or you can go to prison for the rest of your life. And so he's trying one more thing, seeing if he can start a full-out war in the city. And so you get the mobs forming. And this is cool because this is where we get finally the Cole North character, and his change of heart.
Yeah, we do.
Thoughts on that?
Yeah, thoughts. We talked about it last week. Anticipated this turn coming from Cole North, and I said it last week. They didn't do enough to lay the runway for this to mean anything. His decision to knock Officer Powell out and let the protesters into the courthouse, just it fell flat because we haven't spent any time with Cole North as an actual human being. I will now. They're like in post-finale interviews with the showrunner and stuff, they've been talking about how Cole North, there's a lot more for him to do in season 3. In season 3, he is in jail with Matt and the other AVTF agents, including Officer Powell. So I'll leave it at this. They did enough in this season of TV to rehab some of the supporting characters who did not work in season 1 to where I will give them I'll shoot them some bail, as they say on the Midnight Boys, and give them some runway to rehab the Cole North character next season.
Okay. All right. Well, because of Cole North's actions, we get the protesters inside the building, and so we get the sequence of Fisk plowing through the Daredevil protesters, ultimately leading up to the final Daredevil Fisk showdown. What are your general thoughts on just this whole culmination? Starting with like the lead up to Fisk versus Daredevil. The waves, dude, it kind of felt like a Call of Duty Zombies game. Like it was just like waves coming at him. And okay, I'm gonna bring it up again. I'm gonna talk about power scaling because dude, I mean,
ragdolling him.
I mean, just absolutely, dude. He picks up a grown man,
folds him against a wall,
and
basically
breaks his spine against a wall in one go. Dude, the first guy that came at him when he opened the door, as you said, ooh, punches him in the face, and like, oh my, dude, it was like his face caved in.
He flew back like 5 feet into a wall.
Dude, there was multiple people that he just sideswiped and they just went flying. I mean, listen,
dude,
I know, suspension of disbelief, but goodness gracious, dude, Fisk has got to be the strongest human on the face of the earth. Human.
This is the same guy who crushed a man's skull like a watermelon last season. So, well, I think you're right that he's up there in the human power scaling.
Dude, I gotta get like we gotta piss test this guy. Okay, we gotta piss test this guy.
You gotta find him first. But okay, so these scenes though, I love how basically we get like dueling hallway fights where we have Fisk just mowing through the protesters who
yes.
At a certain point they tried to start running away. It was too late. But there was a period of time where I was like, you guys should not be charging this man. You have seen what he has done to the dozens who have already tried.
Yes.
But we get that juxtaposed against Matt and Jessica and White Tiger now working their way through the AVTF agents toward Fisk in like the inner sanctum of the courthouse. And we're cutting between those two, and the fight, like the fight choreography is super cool. We get to see White Tiger, Angela's like running up a wall, like grabbing an ABTF agent, slamming his head into the wall. I was super, that getting her here in the finale, I think really worked. They did a good job building up to that. And it all, I mean, I love how it then culminates to the wave of protesters coming into kind of like this vestibule area in the courthouse, and Matt and Jessica are there leading them out, and you have Fisk in his white suit just drenched with blood stumbling over to this balcony and like making this final plea to the city of like, I've done this all for you, can't you see that? And he, even still at this point, is just not willing to let go.
Dude, yeah, it's like he just can't do it. And Matt is begging and pleading with him. He breaks through the crowd and he's pleading with the crowd. He's like, we are better than this. Like, this is not like who we are. And then he's begging and pleading with Fisk. He's like, take the deal, get out of here. Like, it's over. And Fisk is just, he can't understand. He's like, he questions Daredevil. He says, this is your retribution. Like this is the goal for you. Like, I don't understand. Like, you can tell it's like desperation. He's like, I don't understand like how this is what you want for this city. But it just ultimately doesn't matter because, as you said, I mean, he's a desperate man at the end of his rope, and this is like the moment where he's realized like fully that he's lost. He has lost the day. He has lost the battle. He has lost seemingly the war. I don't know. He's still alive on a beach somewhere. But um, it really feels like you mentioned it earlier in the episode, but it really feels like this is the end of an era for these characters. This is a dynamic in a relationship that we have dealt with and known for, even though it's only been 2 seasons of Born Again, but 5 seasons of television now. And that's a long time to spend with 2 characters. And so to finally have this end, I mean, we're not going to see these 2 in this way, I think, really ever again. Um, I think this was truly the closing of a chapter. And I think the fact that, this new series, Daredevil Born Again, I think it's truly symbolic of what we got here. This is the end of the Daredevil that we knew, the Daredevil Fisk relationship. The characters are being born again, and what we're going to be getting from here on out is going to be something different.
I think you're right. And looks like I've lost my video here, so let me get that back up. But yeah, my question for you, do you think Fisk's punishment is enough?
I mean, no. I think that Fisk is too dangerous of a player to have free. I mean, I think that he could find his way back into a position where I think we might be seeing him again, maybe less so in the public eye, but definitely more so as like the underground crime kingpin type of power role in future iterations. But I mean, we talked about it, I want to say last week, maybe the week before, but it's just like, how much longer are we actually going to be dealing with Kingpin in this show? Could it maybe be the end for a while? I think it's possible.
So I do think he is going to be in season 3 in some capacity. I think confirmed that he is like in the cast for season 3.
Yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio,
but in a very different capacity. But going back to the idea of like how long can we see this play out between Matt and Fisk? Why I think it works so well here is because they have this final confrontation where Daredevil wins and Fisk loses, and it feels different and it feels new as compared to the first and second times that it's happened, basically in season 1 and season 3 of the Netflix show.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, Fisk lost, Daredevil won. But in those same circumstances in season 3, you see a very different energy between the two of them. You get the I beat you moment, and it's just like Matt, there's like a level of like kind of like rage and passion there that you don't see here, where it is more just like a pleading almost, like, we can't keep doing this. We both have to stop. I've already taken that step. I know what's next for me. Like I'm off the board for the foreseeable future because I just revealed my identity, and we can't keep doing this. It's not I beat you. It's like we have to stop. This has to stop. And we haven't gotten that kind of confrontation between the two of them before. Matt kind of tried to made that proposal to Fisk in episode 6 of we'll both leave the city. And he's kind of still in that same place. But now Fisk has finally been brought down far enough, finally to a point where he can kind of concede and agree to those terms. And I think it only happens because Matt speaks to him on that level.
Mm.
And as to like Fisk's punishment, my first feeling was this man just murdered dozens of innocent people. He needs to go to jail.
Yes.
But from a story perspective, again, we've seen that before. We've seen Fisk in jail. Let's do something different. but also from like a story logic perspective, like we have also seen Fisk go to jail and manipulate his way out of that. I think the offer that's being made by the AG and the offer that Matt is also extending makes sense in the context of like, this is a man who, if he stays within any kind of system of society, if we let him stay, he is going to find a way to get back on top. So the only way to deal with him is just to remove him completely. And so I think that in that sense, like the exile offer makes sense.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. And I mean, dude, okay, well, he may not be in jail, he may not be in prison, but some might say that he's in a prison of love. And that is a prison of itself. And not only is he in a prison of love, he's in a prison of love on a sandy beach, and Wilson Fisk canonically hates sand more than Anakin Skywalker. So it's, I mean, he's still in a he's in a rough place. Do you want to do a little wrap up here of just like a couple other of, as you said, like the tertiary characters and just kind of where we leave them off, and thoughts on that?
Yes, I definitely do. Where do you want to start?
I want to start with your girl Heather.
Perfect. Where are you? Where are you with it now? You have been out. You've been canonically out.
Canonically out. Canonically further out.
No.
I don't care at all. Take that, dude. I mean,
throat punching Hochberg, taking his jacket.
Okay.
Throw
punching Hopberg, taking his jacket. Okay, yeah. Good on you, Heather. You know what? Yeah, put that douchebag in his place. For sure. I could not tell you how little I cared about her putting on the Muse mask. It does nothing for me, dude. Nothing.
Dude, I'm just thoroughly entertained by by her as a character at this point.
Like, what are we going to be dealing with next season? Like, why?
Dude, it's literally going to be Bonnie and Clyde with her and Buck.
Okay. Well, you know
dude,
what?
Come on, like that is going to be fun.
Listen, if I've learned one thing from this season, it's that Buck Cashman, he's
a floor raiser.
He's a floor raiser. So, yeah, okay. I'll give you some points there for maybe making me not completely right off Heather. But dude, as she was putting on the Muse mask, I was like, not a single thing in me was like, oh, let's go. I was like, all right, who do we got next?
I'm just like laughing. I'm just laughing when she's doing that, but like in a good way.
I just don't know. I just don't know. I'm what I'm afraid of is just that, like, ultimately, like, this character is going to be something that, like, we deal with now for another season minimally, and to what end? Like, is this gonna like mean anything ultimately between, like, is this gonna mean anything for Matt? Is this gonna mean anything?
I think it's gonna. I think there could be some really interesting stuff there with like Matt having to reckon with some of his carnage that he's left in his wake, because Heather
could be.
Heather, in a lot of ways, is becoming Lady Muse because Matt dumped her.
Hey, listen.
When he came out of his coma and she was there for him, when he came out of his coma and she was there for him, and he said, "Karen," that was it.
That was tough.
Was already on.
You know what? To quote, just a truly great man who's truly in touch with his emotions. Gonna be quoting Zuko here. That's rough, buddy. So yeah, dude, I don't know. I just hope that in season 3, it's not like something that takes screen time to ultimately like resolution for our main character here with Matt and Daredevil, because I kind of feel like that's where she was this season. Like we got some, like you said, some cool courtroom action between him and Heather in the last episode, but besides that, I just don't really feel like I got anything from Heather being here in terms of like what it means for Matt.
This might be one of like the biggest differences of opinions that we've had on this podcast. I think this is good.
I would agree with that.
This might be our first fight ever.
Dude,
have you ever realized that we've never had a fight?
Huh. All right, guys, you heard it here first. Our first fight, 20 years of friendship on Between Two Batcaves.
Over Dr. Heather Glenn from Daredevil Born Again.
Dude. They knew when they were writing that character that they were going to do this. They were going to tear decade-long friendships apart.
An institution.
Let's see, who else should we mention here? Oh, dude. Okay, so question for you. Do you have anything about BB? This is not what my question was, but do you have anything about BB?
Nothing much. I like that she is seemingly moving away from like doing these viral videos and now getting more into like traditional journalism. The like the City Without Fear videos as like a story tool. I'm not a huge fan of in these like the first couple seasons or so.
Yeah.
No, I love her being there, like in her uncle's desk and getting his old newspaper clippings and everything.
Oh yeah. Gonna be trying to fill some shoes there for sure next season. Okay, so dude, I'm interested in this this bullseye with Mr. Charles action that we get here.
Big time. Mr. Charles. Mr. Anderson?
Mr. Anderson.
Did they call him Mr. Anderson?
Wait, was it Anderson?
But they called him by another name, like that last scene on the plane.
Richardson?
Mr. Richardson? Something like that. But I didn't, whatever it was, I didn't clock any kind of like comic name significance there. But
no,
the fact that they called him something else, notable.
I mean, dude, just could be an alias, you know?
Yeah, true.
Dude, is it possible that Bullseye joins the Thunderbolts?
I would say it is very possible. Because he is now working for Charles, who works for Val, who runs the New Avengers. So, I don't know. Where do you think they're going on that plane? That's my question.
Dude, I don't know, because I think we've agreed that like this happens before the events of the Thunderbolts, right? So
I hope so.
Yeah, me too. I think that makes the most sense. So where are they going? I don't know. Is it possible that now, canonically, Bullseye is still kind of like in the shadows with Val, like as one of her like shadow op people working overseas, whatever it might be? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't go as far to say like Bullseye's going to be a new Avenger, but like, do I think that we could be getting more from him? I do.
I hope
really
so.
do. Yeah,
I think there's a lot of potential for him to interact with the greater MCU.
Dude, I think that was them telling us to expect to see that, to expect to see his face again.
Tell me one character in the MCU that you would like to see Bullseye interact with.
That's a good question. Yelena.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I would say, if not Yelena, I mean, Hawkeye. Go back to the Dark Avengers.
That'd be funny. A little like
if he like looked up to him.
Yeah, a little precision, accuracy, little bromance duo there. That'd be fun. I mean, Hawkeye would hate him, but so yeah, no, I think, but also like I don't know. I think Yelena and Bullseye, like, dude, you know what? We can't talk about that on this show. So
save that for Batcave After Dark.
You're picking up what I'm putting down. But yeah, dude, I think we're gonna be getting more of him. Not only will we be getting more of him, but we will be getting more of the Defenders cast. We know that for a fact.
Incredible transition.
Season 3, obviously getting more of Jessica Jones. But dude, holy cow, was I amped up when we saw Luke Cage walk into that room.
Power Man, he's back.
Dude.
He looked good.
Dude, he looked good with the yellow shirt on. Come on. Come on. Dude.
Yeah. And
I mean, that's good stuff.
I love that they're back at Alias Investigations. Jessica has started her PI work back up again. They're seemingly back in the city, like ready to take on a bigger role as heroes with Daredevil off the board. I think is so cool. And like that is one of the story threads that I am very interested in seeing for season 3 is like who steps up with no Daredevil there. And
That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, you could almost say that they are heroes for hire. You could almost say it.
They got to hire another hero first. Danny Rand.
Yeah, they do. They do. Danny Rand, confirmed for season 3 as well. So yeah, man. I mean, I love that this whole sequence of just like wrapping up where our characters are ending season 2. I mean, this is just like it's just good TV, you know. It's just like, hey, here's your climax. Here's the wind down, and here's where to expect your characters picking up in the next season. See y'all next year.
I'm so satisfied with this finale. Do you have any? So I want to throw out a couple spotlights here, but before we do that, I want to give you an opportunity to toss any broken batarangs that you might have that we have not discussed yet.
I'm not gonna waste my time like trying to throw a broken batarang at Heather or anything like that. You know my opinions. I'm not a fan of Heather. I think I'll throw a broken batarang at. Well, I don't know though. I don't think it deserves a broken batarang because I think the idea behind a broken batarang is something that, you know, that was like kind of like on track, but ultimately like didn't hit its mark. And I was thinking about maybe throwing one at the Kirsten character, but like she was never on track, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I do have a broken batarang.
That's okay. Keep it on the belt.
Yeah, I don't think I have it.
I have one. Something that was kind of on track but didn't quite hit his mark, I would say, was the imagery of people donning red headwear and storming a government building.
Okay.
Some interesting parallels there. Not exactly sure what they were trying to say with that, because there's no way it wasn't on purpose, or at least with knowledge that it could be interpreted that way. Interesting is kind of like hard to kind of grapple with the fact that what they were doing was legitimate and justified, as opposed to different versions of that we've seen that were not. Just an interesting choice to make that kind of be the centerpiece of the finale.
Yeah. No. Okay. That's fair. That's totally fair.
Now, Batcave spotlight.
Yeah. Spotlights. I'm gonna shine. I'm gonna shine two. I'm gonna shine one at a character, one at a scene. Character wise, I'm gonna be giving my bat signal spotlight to. I mean, dude, it is what it is. If we have to say, it's Matt Murdock. I mean, he gets the spotlight this episode. This is ultimately his episode, which I think is great, because one thing about this season that I almost felt like was lacking a little bit was just like, I didn't ultimately feel like we got like a ton of time with Daredevil or Matt Murdock. I think that we got like a lot of time with other characters. We got a lot of time with the tertiary characters, and a lot of time with like Fisk and his side of things, which I loved. Everything going around Matt, but like how much time did we actually spend like focused on the Matt character? I feel like it wasn't like as intense as it has been in other seasons. So to get, that circle back to him in this episode and just be like, right, that's why we love this dude so much. I shone bright in that sky.
Totally. I'll just go the other side of the coin with Wilson Fisk and Vincent D'Onofrio. If this is the last time that we get to see this version of Wilson Fisk, like, good on you, because he went out with a bang. We've been talking this whole season that he has been just at his boiling point, and he finally spills over in this episode, and boy, is it fun to watch.
Yes, it is. Bat signal spotlight scene. Dude, that's a good one. I mean, dude, scene, I've got to go with the build up to the reveal of the questioning Fisk at the stand there of trying to pull out the fact that, oh, well, Matt Murdock's a hero. And just like you said, like the realization of what's going on, and Fisk like trying to beat around the bush and doing this little like whispering under his breath thing, and the lead up to it, I thought it was like very, you knew it was going to happen, but you're on
They
the edge
did
of your
such
seat.
a good job. Yeah, just building that tension up to a reveal that you and I knew was coming.
Yeah.
I will then, you were in the courtroom, I will take it to the hallway and throw my bat signal spotlight scene on just the dueling hallway fight scenes for the reasons that we talked about earlier. Just
very well edited.
For a Daredevil show, you have to nail the final fight. And for a final fight that really, like, we don't get Matt and Fisk fighting in this episode, but we didn't need it because we got the build up to it. And everything, that came instead of them trying to punch each other. So, yeah, I'm throwing it on the dueling hallway fights.
Listen, dude, it ain't Daredevil. There's not a hallway fight.
That's the darn truth. All right, my friend. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we throw some rankings on this season as a whole. Give our final kind of put a button on this season of TV. And then maybe before we get out, we can just rank our favorite seasons of Daredevil from Netflix and Born Again.
Sure.
So I'll start. Just thinking about this season as a whole, I was thinking about this. We've talked about a lot of this over, like, just in the context of this episode. But again, I love this season of TV. Huge improvement, I think, from season 1 of Born Again, where here they, like, when you nail both the leads and most of the supporting characters and you give us a handful of tertiary characters to really get invested in, that's a formula for a really good show, even with its flaws. I like that we still have a lot of room for improvement with certain characters like Angela now, BB, even Cole North, holding out hope for you, buddy. There's just, I think there's still a lot of runway here for the story too. I talked about this over the course of the season, but dude, I just think that they've perfected the art of the Daredevil combat choreography. Like, they've done something that the Netflix show never was really able to do in incorporating, like, the gymnast acrobat side of his physicality. But then also now melding it, I think, perfectly with, like, how visceral everything felt in the Netflix series. Whereas in season 1 of Born Again, you didn't quite get there. You got him swinging around on rooftops, and it didn't feel the same. They perfected the brew here, and yeah, I mean, I just, again, like, this season finale, like, I think really emphasized that this whole series is just, these 2 seasons have just been a story about Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk, like, reckoning with who they are and what their inner demons are. And that's just, I'm always going to be here for that.
You want to rank these?
Let's do it. So I say we go 5 to 1. And if you can, give me a rating out of 10 for each season as we go.
Oh, dude.
Putting you on the spot, I know. Just go vibes here. This is a tentative ranking. So I'll let you start. Which season do you have ranked as number 5?
5 being the lowest.
Yes.
Season 2.
All right. That's I think you're in the majority there. I thought about that. Before I give you mine, what would you give it out of 10? Just off vibes.
That. Dude, it's been a minute since I've watched season 2. Let me go season 2, 6.5, 7, 6.5, 7 range.
Okay. I have Born Again season 1 at number 5 here at like a rough 7.5. So, like, even the floor for me for even the worst Daredevil show is still like a solid season of TV.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I was gonna go number 4, Daredevil Born Again season 1.
Okay, this is where I have Netflix season 2. I have they're basically, 4A and 4B. I think
Yeah.
Born Again, I think probably is more consistent from start to finish, quality wise, but Netflix season 2 has The Punisher. So
Very true.
that's why it gets the nod for me.
Very true. Let's see. Following Daredevil Born Again season 1, I'm gonna go.
This one gets tough.
Yep, I got season. I'm gonna go. Netflix season 1.
All right. Okay, I'm surprised. We have the same. I have Netflix season 1 here too.
We have the same.
Yeah.
Probably coming in around like
a
8-ish.
Yeah, I was like around 8.5.
Yeah. And then
I haven't watched it in a long time.
I think I gotta go Born Again season. I think I gotta go Born Again season 2 in my 2 spot.
Okay, and then season 3 in your 1.
I think so.
I'm flipping them, dude. I'm taking a stand here, man. This was the best season of Daredevil that we've ever gotten.
It's pretty dang close. I mean, it's pretty dang close.
We forget, dude, like those 13 episode seasons, there is a lot of story stretched out in there. I think
true.
that what puts Born Again season 2 just a hair above season 3 for me is just like the breakneck pacing of like the story. Like we burned through a lot of plot over the course of this season of TV. And and I think for the most part, effectively. And so I just think like how propulsive it is and everything that happens and just like massive reveals left and right. That's what kind of gives it the nod. And then I think the version of Bullseye that we get in this season is like a big improvement over the first iteration that we get in season 3.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. The Bullseye character was definitely elevated. Yeah, like dude, it's like I said in the beginning, it's that thing. It's most certainly in the car. Like, am I going to be mad at anybody for saying that Born Again season 2 is their favorite season of Daredevil? Not at all.
I thought we were about to have our second fight.
I mean, we can if you want to. I can do it for the clips, but I'm not mad at it.
Dude, we said we'd never do that. All right, before we get out of here, just run through 5 through 1 for me one more time, and I'll hit you with mine.
Okay, my Daredevil season rankings are as followed. Coming in at number 5, the bottom, I'm going Daredevil Netflix series season 2.
Mm-hmm.
In my 4 spot, I'm going Daredevil Born Again season 1. At my 3 spot, I'm going Daredevil Daredevil Netflix series season 1. In my 2 spot, I'm going Daredevil Born Again season 2, and in my 1 spot, I'm going Daredevil Netflix series season 3. That's a mouthful.
That's a lot of words. I think honestly, like with these rankings, this is like the most variance that we've ever had on this podcast. So I got at number 5, Born Again season 1, number 4, Netflix season 2, number 3, Netflix season 1, number 2, Netflix season 3, and in the top spot, Born Again season 2. And just to throw a rating out of 10 for this season of TV, dude, I think with all his flaws, so much to love. It's a 9 out of 10 for me.
Yeah. 9. Like you could get like ticky tacky with quarter point here, quarter. But yeah, I mean, solid 9. I mean, this is a great season of TV. I think what Daredevil does so well is like you don't like. Sometimes like when we're talking about this stuff, like we have to like give like the disclaimer of like, oh, this is a great season of like Marvel television. That is
just
true.
Good. This is also great TV.
This is just great TV, and I love that.
Yeah. Well, dude, I think we done it.
We done did it. Hell's Kitchen
did it. We done Daredevil did it.
Is safe for another probably, I don't know, like 3 hours or so.
I was gonna say lock me away. Lock me away in a jail cell like Matt Murdock until season 3 is here.
Well, we got to get you out before Brand New Day because I think that might be when Matt Murdock is out of jail too.
Stay tuned. Well, dude, what a show. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for hanging with us on this episode Between Two Batcaves. Hit us up on the socials. We are on TikTok. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook. We are on Blue Sky. All those at Between Two Batcaves with the number 2. We're on the app formerly known as Twitter at B2 Batcaves with the number 2. Hit us up. We're going to be posting some clips. Going to want to get into this season finale with you guys on the socials. So let us know what you thought. Are you guys excited for season 3? Do you want to see Daredevil get broken out of jail in Spider-Man Brand New Day? I don't know. Let us know.
Guys, get active on the socials. Comment sections are fun. Man, I got a little sassy in the comments over on TikTok today. So if y'all want some snarky remarks from Jordan and I, get active in the comments. Yeah. Listen, don't come on our page and say that that we're toddlers, okay? Okay? I have a toddler.
We're big boys.
And she also likes Daredevil. So I think that might actually prove the commenter's point. I don't know. Anyway, before you close out of the podcast app of your choice, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and a review. Few words of kindness to let Jordan and I know how we're doing over here on Between Two Batcaves. And come back next week when we will be covering, pretty similar universe here. We're going to be talking, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. We're going to be talking about the Punisher. So not too far off from what we did today. We're going to be talking about the new Punisher special. The last kill, final kill.
Punisher, one last kill.
One last kill.
Just one. Just one more.
Yeah.
One last kill. Come on.
One more kill.
Just one.
We're gonna be talking about that next week, as well as it seems like a Mall Shadow Lord season wrap up. Giving some thoughts on that as well. So until then, from our Batcaves to yours, thanks for hanging with us, and we will see you next time.
See ya.